This tutorial should help you for making tires and rims and maybe other types of round objects. We're going to be using two methods, symmetry and array modifiers. Since some rims may have strange patterns with like this one with a fork, so even with the array modifier you'll end up having to use a symmetry. Anyways, this is one of my older projects I did a while back, and you can see it turned out very nice. And I'm going to give you a little demonstration over here on how to do both methods. So this is where that fork is. So instead of designing both ends of the fork, you only really need to end up doing one end of the fork. So let's go over here and you can see what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and start with method one. We're going to add a symmetry. Make sure that you turn off, for planar, make sure you turn off the other options. You can actually select all three of these at once. So find the correct XYZ and then put the weld threshold that makes sense for welding the seam down the middle. And I'll be showing you how to check that at the end here. And now we will add an array. And you're going to change this to radial and then immediately change the radius to 0 because our pivot's going to be in the center, and find the correct orientation, set this to 8. And so there is one downside with using the array. If I add an editable poly just for testing purposes, put it on border, click shift all, or just highlight the whole object, you'll see it's not welding in here. And if you add a weld modifier on top of this stack, it also isn't going to weld. You're going to end up having to collapse this array. So I prefer not to use the array. I just use a second symmetry. So let's do the same thing. We'll put an X there. We'll add a second symmetry. We'll do the count to 8. And this is a good example of what I'm talking about, where the Z may be in the wrong axis. So no matter which you do here, it won't line up. So just on the modifier itself, expand this, click the mirror, grab the select and rotate, and let's try Z. And then it's usually Z, that's where it's off, and then rotate to 90, and that will fix that issue. And then, of course, we can weld down here. So both of these symmetries should be 0.001 for my using meters. And we will do the same there. We'll add an editable poly, border, and you should only see it turn red here on the borders. And that will show that it welded between the symmetry in between each section. So anyways, if this tutorial helps you, please smash that like button, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Thanks.